about the nuclear power has to be decided by each country and the people. And I think the way the Kazakhstan government approached through the referendum is a very constructive way of producing a consensus, social consensus. So I think it's a very good and very constructive. And I believe renewable energy is important, but at the same time, there are certain role nuclear power can play. We call it base load, meaning that nuclear power can supply constantly throughout 24 hours a day. It can provide a certain level of electricity without any interruption. That is the advantage of nuclear power. While the renewable energy like wind and solar, there's no solar in the night, and when there's no wind, there's no power. So this kind of interruptions of renewable energy is posing also a huge problem for the government to control. So you need a very constructive balance between nuclear and renewables. So I think it's a decision by the government. I respect it. But at the same time, you have to also remember that nuclear power is not the only cheapest solution. According to the calculations nowadays, nuclear is more expensive than solar and wind. Of course, as I said, the nuclear has its own advantage. But at the same time, it's not the cheapest solution. It takes a long time to build it, and the capital investment is huge, and you need waste disposal. It's also money, but luckily in Kazakhstan you have a huge land space, so it's not a big problem for Kazakhstan. But country like Korea, we don't have land to dispose of nuclear waste. So for Korea, I don't think it's a very good option. But for Kazakhstan, I think it can be a very good option. But you don't have to go 100% for nuclear, because in Kazakhstan, you have a huge land spaces for solar and wind as well. And they are more cheaper. So you can take advantage of many options. So I think the real problem is how you can make a social consensus about the combination, balance between nuclear and renewable and the fossil fuel. I think, but the way your government has done through the referendum, I think it's a very constructive way of promoting social consensus. So I really appreciate that kind of a constructive effort by your government.